What's up, guys? Jordan from Bennett's Customs, back on another episode, kind of part 2 of the doors. As you saw in our previous episode, we got the outer skin finished off, ready to be put back on the inner door structure, which is right here. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we finished it off and got it prepped in order to take the two and mate them. Also, we have the Bennett's jumpers or sweatshirts are in. Nice, cozy fit. And you've seen these, but they are hot off the press. The Bennett's Snoopy tee. That is going to be that. Hopefully. Maybe not the double exhaust. Out the back. But jump on the store. They're live.
Link in the description.
Link in the description. Anything else, Ben?
Stickers.
Oh, yes. We have stickers. We put one on the floor entering the office. That is 3 beers long. Just shy. Or Ben's size 6 children's 6 boot. Also, for all of our Bennett's family members, we do have a new video up. It is the kind of behind the scenes of the race up at Perkalili and a little bit of kind of the lead up to it. Some funny things in there. So if you're bored, crack a beer, sit down, watch a bit of the behind the scenes. So that'll be in the members area. Also, if you do want to become a member, we will have the link in the description. Click it, see what you think. Otherwise, enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. Hit notifications so you know when my gorgeous face is online. Karl has already done like an incredible job on this so far. So he's kind of left it in good state to kind of pick up where he left off. First things first, before I do anything, I'm just going to knock off like a couple of these things. I'm going to pull out this door latch because I do have a couple extra ones that I think are relatively workable. And then what we need to do is clean all the inside again. Okay, so I just went in the sandblaster and we just kind of cleaned up those little areas that we couldn't get to with the wire wheel, which is a bonus. So now this is relatively clean on the inside, so we can kind of rust convert this after we finish welding this up. We basically need to focus on this corner here where it's all missing. So it looks very similar to this. And so what we're going to use is Karl's profile dies that he designed and made. We're going to throw those in the power hammer, and then we're going to kind of make our little piece and yeah, get that fabricated up. All right, so what we need to do is I'm going to cut this off, and then we're going to take this, I'm going to trace out this profile. We're going to cut it very similar to the same way that Karl made this one. So I'm just going to swap the wire wheel over for the zip cut. This way we can kind of get a bit of a gauge of
where we need to cut it. Actually, I should probably cut this after I do it. So I'm assuming it's the same corner, but I should be able to eyeball it pretty easily. I'm just trying to get the radius kind of how it goes, so I should be able to. I'm just gonna go over to the grinder and I'm just gonna clean this up. All right, so I've done really the same as what Karl's done. I've made my little profile for the outside diameter of it, and now I'm gonna go over and run this through the machine. I've already done this piece, so I'm gonna trim this off, and then I can, oh no, I didn't do it right. I need to bend another piece. Okay, so we need to do another one, and then I'll cut this, and then we'll shrink the corner and make our corner as well, because this is still quite steep. It's actually almost, it's not even quite 90 degrees. It's tighter compared to the other side here where it's quite open. So I need to make sure that I'm kind of allocating for that as well. So let's go see if this works. If it doesn't, we can always cut and make a new one. Yeah, I reckon that'll go. So I'm just gonna loosen this off, drop it down a little bit. Still learning on this machine too. There's gonna be a lot of time spent on it, which I'm very excited to kind of, you know, learn it like the rest of the machines, and feel it, learn its quirks, learn the limitations of it, and, you know, I'll experience some really cool pieces. So let's see if we can start to All right, so we're getting a little bit wavy here. I think it's bouncing out, so maybe I need to hold it in a bit tighter. The first curve was really nice, and then we kind of lost it there. Learning as we go, so I might even just try and tighten this up a little bit. Maybe that'll kind of help me get a better setup on it. Also might not, who knows, but this is the fun bit, you know? Get to trial and error. All right, let's see if this does anything. All right, just get this out. Okay, so that's cleaned it up considerably and really kind of straightened it out, which is nice. So I think I still need to go just a little bit more. Bring it in a bit tighter. I'm just working little strides as we go. Just gonna test this, making sure it's kind of coming down. So it's actually loosened the die. So this could be an issue or a reason why, but what it's done, I probably didn't have this tight enough, and it's actually kicked it back so that the spacing is not even anymore. Let's see what this does. Maybe this will clean it up. Or I might have to do it all over again. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, way better. So still a little wobbly, but wobbly enough where I'd leave it. I'd love that. It's just a, you know, good learning experience, really. right, so what I have here is our piece. We just knocked that one out just so I can kind of let it sit where I want it to. But I'm just gonna get this lined up where we want it, right about there. Yep, that's it. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this. Those two. We have another, so we actually have a little bit of backing there, which is kind of nice. We can rest this down onto it, but we got a spot weld right there. Need to get rid of there. So this is kind of like a spot weld drill bit. So it's got a little point right on the end, so you can actually center punch where you need to go. And then it just has a real flat cut on it, not like your traditional drill bit. And what that does is it takes material, but kind of leaves the material there. So realistically, if I get this in the right spot, it doesn't always work perfect, but if you can get it in the right spot, yeah, see? So I've kind of nailed that. And then we just need to get this piece. Oh, there's another one. There's two. So I'm gonna have to try and get this thing. So you can see there's actually a support piece for the back of the hinge for the lower portion of it. So I need to make sure I keep the integrity of this there. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of time in order to try and get this piece off. I can use the little air chisel if I have to, but I'm gonna just kind of pry it as we go so I can keep as much there as possible. Oh, there you go. Perfect, and we've kind of left that in place. It just slightly bent a little bit, but it's not quite yet. That's perfect. So what I need to do is hit this on the wire wheel. Okay, so what we need to do is get this tucked into place. So I'm just gonna make a little drill hole, something I can weld to on the back side. So that way I can then TIG weld the back side and we can just do a little spot weld on that piece there. There he is, having his little snack. Just had a shit, having his snack. I tell you, the guy just eats shits and eats more. Bloody lovely, bloody lovely. No early celebrations yet. We still have the complicated bit to make now, and that is this corner piece. So, angle's different here, so it's going to be steeper. Probably going to have to hammer and dolly a little bit of this over. We're going to have to work a bit of it, but it's okay for our project. I'm happy. What I do have here is just a test piece that we had used when we were running the dies, making sure that they were kind of, the profile was right. And I'm basically going to do the same thing that Karl had done, and that is I'm just going to make sure that that's going to line up. Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do is just cut this along here. Then we're going to turn or stretch this, start to form it, and gradually get this tight radius that we need. And then I can do the same, tack it along this edge. And yeah, we'll be able to get one in and on the back side as well. And hopefully this will work. So I need to cut this off right now. Just going to quickly wire wheel the back side of this just to get rid of the surface rust. And then we're going to go over to the stretcher and start to stretch this. Right, here's our piece. So we just quickly shrunk that end. And then I've just kind of hammered it out, but I'll just make sure that this is nice and flat. We still have our nice little bit of angle that'll match up to this. And it was kind of great to be able to cut it just above that bend. So right on the edge, we actually still have a slight rolled edge. So by the time we put these together and tack them, we should match the profile right across the whole way through. So this is what we're trying to achieve. And I think we can definitely get it spot on. Kind of more or less just need to like cut and start to fit it. And then we can kind of like hammer and dolly along and get some tacks on it. And then once it's in, we can kind of trim everything the way it needs to be.
So that would be perfect if we could just tack that in, and then I could kind of pull this piece down and through.
I'm gonna try and put a weld on this right now.
Maybe I should might just drill that hole like I had mentioned for our spot weld on the backside. I got our little. Okay.
All right, we're looking good. We're looking real promising. This is kind of flukishly worked out really well with having that little bevel on the edge. What I do need to do though, I need to sand just this little area off this one so I can kind of roll this down. And I know it's gonna fold there. So I'm just gonna grab the little finger sander, or even a file I could probably get with it. Rolling the edge so that I can tack it. That's the winner chicken bloody dinner. Sorry, I'm just very excited. I love when things kind of work, although this could be so far out when we go to put it on the skin. Door doesn't shut, all sorts of stuff. We're not in the clear yet. So I've done 3 tacks along there and it's really just pulled that gap in. Just gonna put this back down here and just tap that guy. So now that matches up. All of our radiuses are the right angle they're supposed to be. Everything matches up with our new ones to the old ones. So this one's shorter the whole way across, so I think what we need to do is have a look at how it sits, but we're probably gonna have to trim this one and then maybe it kind of comes out. I'm a little bit unsure because we don't, I can look on the other door will kind of explain it. I'm actually gonna do that. I'm gonna throw this in the planishing hammer. We're just gonna run a couple passes back and forth on here just to clean it up, sorry. Just gonna knock a few of these guys off, the higher welds, and then we're gonna weld this whole thing up. All right, so same deal, just ran one pass right across here with the planishing hammer with, I think we had a 36, which is what this is, and that has made it really nice and smooth, which is good. A little kind of crease right here, but that's where, when this door was so badly damaged that you can see in previous videos, it was really hard to kind of get this back to shape. So I'm hoping we can kind of keep the overall profile right. I think if anything, I might have to just cut here and kind of bend it down a little bit. It looks like it just kicks up a little bit. But other than that, where we've made our new piece here, we're just gonna weld all this up, grind it all, sand it, and then see what we're looking like. Okay, so we have it all welded up. Looks really nice. We did one full pass along here, and we got our corner welded. So what we really just need to do now is kind of knock these welds down, and then we can probably do a little bit of hammer and dolly work. Maybe pop it back in the planishing hammer and make sure that we're kind of getting the right idea, right flow for everything. But yeah, it's starting to look really nice. So I'm just gonna knock all these off, and hopefully this will turn out relatively nice. So what I've got here is that lower 36 radius die, and that's what we've kind of measured the inside of this door and the outside of it as well. So I've got a gap between it about the thickness of the steel. So I'm hopefully not stretching the material. I'm only just trying to form it back. So I'm just running, I'm gonna do a few passes. I've actually just kind of tested it then, but I'm just doing a few passes over top of the weld. And then we're gonna have a little bit of a suss and see whether or not it needs a bit of stretching or shrinking in areas. But we're just gonna give it a test and see. The great thing about this is it's variable speed, like going off your foot. Well, this worked. Unfortunately, again, ran out of footage on the SD card, and unfortunately Ben is away on holidays. Josh had one, so that helped out. But yes, it did work. It's just here, I've just hit it with a bit of metho, just letting it run off to get the oils off from our special sauce that we use for that. And then we're just gonna see what this looks like. I'm gonna hit it with the DA and 80 grit, and yeah, see what this thing looks like. One thing too that I do want to mention that I kind of didn't do right, but then I thought, like as an afterthought, I thought about it after. When you're knocking down your weld prior to wanting to put it through the planishing hammer, you just want to take the material of the weld off. So if you're using your little 90-degree grinder, you kind of want to just take the material of the weld off so that you're not taking any of the material on either side out. So that is kind of, you know, because you're thinning that area out. Yeah, kind of, if you can take the top of the weld off, leaving the sides, then you know you have kind of the same amount of thickness throughout the whole area that you're going to planish, and that will kind of make it a little bit easier. Kind of didn't do it on there, but usually I remember to. But I just thought I'd tell you. What I want to do right now is just grab some of that rust converter, and we are just going to do the back side, and I'm just going to try and brush it in the creases where I can. Not too close to this bit yet. I still need to finish a couple areas, but I just want to get it, you know, over the areas where I sandblasted and that. And then I would like to just wipe the inside of this door just to make sure that it's all done. So we're just going to do that right now. All right, so I'm gonna leave the video there. I've just got everything basically just arrived in a box today for all the little internals to make sure that I can kind of put everything back together. The latches themselves as well, I just have to go through and make sure they're super clean and operating properly before I install them all. As you can see, we have put on a Pour 15 product. This is kind of something we always used to use back home in Canada. You can get it here. There is a few different things that are like almost virtually the same here. I cannot think off the top of my head. Someone's saying it right now. I can hear it. But yeah, this is just like a very good like permanent coating that you can put on. You can brush it on, you can spray it on. It kind of has like a really nice flow effect as well. But it just is super durable. Be really nice to kind of have between both panels so that when we do put these back on and hammer this edge back over, that everything internally is sealed and really nice as well. So, and yeah, it'll kind of look the part for what we're gonna do when we make some inner door panels for it. I do have to make a couple little corners on this, so that'll be in a next video when we put all these together. Is just making those little corners that'll sit in the bottom of here. And then we can kind of hammer and dolly the edge over when we have it all ready. Some new hardware for the hinges. I just want to make sure everything is kind of square and done properly, so that when we do go to put these back on the body and we have everything bolted on, that they will kind of latch quite nice. So that's the goal. And luckily, you had seen I had ripped apart the other one to start the rust repair on it. And as you can see, basically same story. The whole bottom of this one's gone. We have the inner structure. Inner structure needs basically the same thing as the other one. So
I had actually found a couple of doors had advertised, and there is a right-hand side, driver's side in Australia, door that he has, which is essentially the one I need to replace this guy. And I went and looked at it, and it's perfect. Has a patina, doesn't quite match, but I can make it work. The whole thing is in amazing shape. So I think what I'm gonna do is get that door off him, see if it fits on the car. If it does, I'll rebuild this guy, stick it on, do the same to the other one, and we may leave this one for a later date. Also, a little sneak peek for next week's video. We are on the split window, and as you can see, a little brief of what I had done. Originally, this was a one-piece bench seat that followed this profile directly across here. The client who owns this is about my size, and he wants to have a bit more space while driving it, because they are definitely not designed for larger people. As we've all figured out with all these cars that we seem to build, they're not designed for us. So we did design it for him and made it a lot better. And I was able to kind of cut the original bench seat and split it, and everything kind of works and pivots as they were supposed to from factory. And we also added the spare wheel kind of embossing into the back panel. And we made some other ones that's the same swage or bead line as the rest of the stuff on the van themselves. I'll be able to kind of show you all that in the next video. Once this bit's done, we're gonna slowly kind of work towards the back, where we're gonna look at that airplane motor that's going in here, which is exciting. I have some really cool ideas that we're gonna do with this one. We're definitely by no means following the traditional path as far as restoring a split window to back to factory. This thing is gonna be kind of far from it. So a lot of subtle details. I am going to bring some details kind of in from the hot rod, early kind of ideas into it. Maybe even some 70s ideas as well. Don't quite know yet, but I got some pretty cool things I think will look really neat on this to make it a little bit more original. So anyways, we'll see you next week on another episode. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks very much.